All right, hey, what's going on, everybody? One of the biggest things that affects your life and your relationship with Christ is the relationships that you choose to foster, the people that you choose to hang around with, the amount of time you spend with certain people. And that's really going to affect your life, something that a lot of people don't really think a lot about. You just naturally, you're around whoever you're around, and you end up spending time with those that are nearest to you, people that reach out to you, people that are in your community. But one of the things that destroys a lot of Christians, one of the biggest things that really affect and hinder growth, and for people that God calls to be the remnant church, people that stand up for things, they're most affected by the closest people around them. And I want to encourage a lot of you guys, because a lot of people don't really get active in that. And I know it hurts a lot of people at times, but there are choices you have to really make, or you have to understand the effect that some of these people have on your life, where if you're not careful, if you're not open to what the Spirit is doing, and I'm talking about, the Holy Spirit, but also demonic spirits affecting you, then you could be veering yourself off course. You could be digging yourself into a hole and an unnecessary sin that you're not necessarily privy to, that you don't necessarily see, and that's going to slowly derail you and put you off course. And I remember a time in my life, a long time ago, where I was starting to hang out with a particular person more and more, and as I was getting closer to this person, I was somehow getting a lot of sexual desires. I wanted to have sex. I wanted to think about these things more often. And it's not something this person talked about a lot. But as I got to know this particular person, I come to find out that this person was having sex, desired it, and had a lot of that on this person's mind, and it was affecting them. It was something that this person hid a lot from, various people, and, it wasn't necessarily something you admit to and just blast out, something I wasn't aware of. But because I was more close, more intimate with this particular person, as I was kind of being rubbed off on those same things, those same desires, and sort of the union I had with this person made me absorb some of those desires and those thoughts, and affected me consequently in a small period of time and during a season, which I had to really rid myself of, and had to really consciously from just getting rid of this person completely, but also just making sure that I was in prayer, that I was being guarded, that I was asking the Holy Spirit to help me to be able to actively pray against certain things, because I was so open to being influenced, to having this relationship with this particular person, this friendship or whatever it is. It opens these doors. And so a lot of people, they don't realize how much of an effect this has. And that's just one example, one, negative example. There's positive examples as well. And obviously people can see that. It's not a rocket science type thing. People will rub off on you. They will influence you, and you become more like, your friends in essence. But a lot of times people think, oh, I want to, save this person. I want to influence this person. And you feel like you're more powerful. You feel like you're more influential. But as time passes, you'll be surprised at how much their negativity or their bad habits or good habits rub off on you, and that your power, your influence, as much as you want to say, oh, no, I want to save this person, I want to influence this person, as much as you think you have that in you, it doesn't necessarily work that way. And because a lot of us, we don't realize how weak we may be. We don't realize how influenced we have, how much influence we are by the people around us, by the circumstances around us, that it veers us off course. It veers us off in a way that it will be hard to turn around from. And thankfully, by God's grace, in this situation, and as well in many other situations, God was able to help me, to save me from essentially death and destruction. But sadly, a lot of Christians, a lot of us, we open ourselves up to bad relationships, to toxic relationships, and we think we can handle it. We think we can just, shimmy around it and be okay. But it's really killing us. It's really allowing us to have a slow death, because we don't realize how much of the sin, how much of the negativity, how much of the influence, how much of the narcissism, how much of this, influence is having an impact on our lives. And so I just want to encourage a lot of you guys, because as much as you want to change, and it might be there in the back of your mind, you have to actively get guidance from the Lord, but also really take action yourself to be able to say no, to be able to distance yourself, or at best, just cut it off, right? If it's something that you can't handle. And so a lot of us choose, abstinence, choose, even though it hurts us and the other person, to rid ourselves of these toxic people. And it's something that's a strong decision. It is not a light decision, but it's maybe a necessary decision. And so I'm not saying you should cut off everybody in your life just because they're all bad and they're all sinners and whatnot. You have to interact with the people that God has around you, but you have to be very careful, very concerted, and very just wise and discerning about how to spend time, how to really get deeper in someone's life, what boundaries you need to draw, and how it is that you're setting yourself up to either be influenced or be the influencer. And a lot of times, though we may think we have the strength, the knowledge, the wisdom necessary, we could often be influenced by the other person, by the circumstance or the situation. And so it goes, for relationships, but it also goes for many other things in life: your habits, the city that you live in, the job that you have, the habits and hobbies that you participate in, many other things, right? And oftentimes it takes us away from God. And what you want to do is surround yourself and be around things that would help you in your walk with Christ and help you in your walk so that you can grow to be more Christ-like. But because many of us are so weak and we're not aware, we're oblivious to it, we don't see that there are spiritual forces, there are things around us that are really impacting and influencing us in such a way that it's slowly bringing us down a rabbit hole, and often ones that we can't get out of. And if you think about how you were first saved, how God, and in your first love, had given you such joy and such love, but then over the course of time, whether it's your family, your spouse, the friends around you, they've taken your joy, they've taken the void out of your life. And to really get out of that rut, that gutter, for many of us, we have to consider moving on from certain friendships, certain relationships, certain communities, as much as we want to hang on. And because, we had these lifelong friendships or relationships or whatever it is, maybe it's time that a lot of us consider moving forward. And it's something that's hard to do, but it requires prayerful consideration, and for us to really bite the bullet and in confidence and with faith in the Lord, step forward. And so I just wanted to ask that you guys consider it, evaluate your relationships around you, because for many of us, abstinence and totally cutting things off might be the answer. For others, it would be wisely considering how much time, how much influence, how much of a boundary you need to draw between you and the other person, the thing, the hobby, or whatever it is. Otherwise, we're going to get into a rut and we won't be able to get out of it. And it will be hard for us, for God to really pull us out. And of course, anything is possible with the Lord, but you have to make a concerted effort as well. You have to be aware of your surroundings, of how much time and how much energy you spend in something, and then be able to make conscious choices. And so that's something that was on my heart. It's something that God teaches me a lot about and through. And I wanted to just impart that and that word of encouragement to you guys to really carefully consider this, because as you move forward, as you keep growing, as you keep pursuing Christ in this way, you have to make those tough choices and really consider it and be cognizant of all of this around you, all of your concentric circles of relationships, all of your time that you spend in something. Otherwise, it will come back to bite you. And so, be encouraged, guys. Be blessed. And I'll talk to you guys very soon.